So with that in mind, Jay and I might do a kick through of what is this opportunity assessment project and what are we trying to do. So Jay, I'll let you lead on this one and I'll jump in if you need me to.
Okay, so what we're trying to do here is really to understand what the workforce is now, because we really don't know. We don't know how big it is. We don't know what it's made up of. We don't know what the training needs are. And we don't have the ability to actually measure the clean energy workforce at the moment. We know about bits of it. Even in the better known spaces, renewables, we don't know about all of it. It's not something that we collect information on systematically. So that's our first step, is we'd like to at least know who's working there now. And we also want to be able to project that forwards to 2030 and to 2050, both so that we can manage that transition, because we all know there's going to be a lot of changes, and also so that we can get the training in place so that we maximize benefits for everybody, and also have it happen smoothly, equitably, and as fast as possible. So we want to be able to project what the needs are, and that needs lots of information. We need to have details on what particular occupations and skills are going to be required. We want to know what sort of training is going to be needed. We want to look at how that should be located. And we also want to look at, particularly on the speed side, how can we strengthen innovation within Australia? So it is a very broad remit. You know, it's quite a big task. And as Greg said, I want to emphasize that this project is not going to answer all those questions. What we're doing here is actually mapping out how would we understand them, what research is needed. So it's a big scoping study, if you like. Next slide, please. And so the major deliverable from this, not the only one, but the final report that Holly was talking about, is the research roadmap. If we can do it all that fast, it'll be great. And what that roadmap should do is identify what we need to do to understand and support that clean energy workforce developments. So key elements of that, and this is not going to cover everything, it's just an overview, is we want to have a framework. We want to develop a framework for an annual or biennial clean energy workforce survey. And that's our hope. What we will be doing is seeing how that could work. Is this something we could do here? And I'll be talking about more. This is my work package, so I won't expand on that now. We want to look at, we'll have a review of the skills and training needed to 2050 and a stock take of existing provision. And this assessment of how are the innovation pathways supporting the transition, and how does this compare with the rest of the world? And really crucially, we want to identify what are the steps in terms of research that we need to actually understand that pathway better and to understand the workforce needs better. And I think that's it for my overview. So next slide, and I think over to you, Holly.
Thanks, Jay. So in effect, we'll go into more detail on all of that shortly, and we'll very happily take questions once it's Jay talking about her work package, and then Dirk, and then Sam. But I just wanted to give a bit of a flavour of what we're going to be doing over the next 5 months. So these opportunity assessments are rapid. They need to be finished by end of financial year. They need to be reported on by end of financial year. So they actually need to be done by the start of June, which is fine. So this month we're kicking off with this industry reference group meeting. We've got workshops for both Work Package 1 and Work Package 2. When I initially sent you information last month, we were intending on doing the Work Package 3 workshop this month, but it's been pushed back to the first week of March. So In terms of the meetings, there's not a lot that are involved, and you can spread it across your organisations. In terms of the processes that we're using, we've got interviews, consultation papers, and online questionnaires, and they will be happening over February, March and April. And then in terms of the reporting, the draft report we'll have ready by the second week of May, I believe it is, but it might be the third. We will send that around to all of you a week in advance of having an industry reference group meeting, and then we will chat about the draft report and get your feedback so that we can improve upon it for the final report. The other thing to think about is that we're also intending or hoping to do a survey, a pilot of the survey. And to do that, it's not part of the race project because of the size of the opportunity assessments. So we're seeking some external funding, and we're hoping that that will be done alongside this. So once we've got confirmation of that, we'll let you know all more details. But in effect, Jay and her team are going to be working on making sure that the survey is useful, but of course, as with everything, you should pilot something to make sure that it actually works before you recommend and go, yep, we're good to go and do this research every year. So that's more or less our major milestones. It's pretty compact, but we will have everything in your diary in the next couple of weeks in terms of those meetings. So the spreadsheet that we sent around last month, which had a request for you saying which of the work packages are you interested in and who is the lead on those work packages, I will obviously resend that around with the minutes from this meeting. If your organisation hasn't already filled that in, it would be wonderful if you could please do so that we can send you the invites for the meetings that are coming up. And indeed, some of those meetings for Work Package 1 and Work Package 2 are only a few short weeks away. So that would be really wonderful. Thank you.